Every human heart longs for connection, for love, for trust, for someone who truly understands. And whether it is between parents and children, husband and wife, friends, or even between us and God, relationships are the very soul of life. Without them, even the greatest success feels empty. But when they flourish, even the simplest life feels like heaven. The truth is that most people struggle because misunderstandings, ego, and unspoken expectations often turn love into pain. Yet there is good news, for relationships can be healed, nurtured, and made truly wonderful if we embrace the timeless principles of love, communication, respect, forgiveness, gratitude, joy, growth, divine connection, and self-love. Love is the very foundation, the life force of every bond, not just an emotion, but the energy that gives meaning to our lives. Just like a garden that must be watered daily and cared for, a relationship blooms only when nurtured with small acts of kindness, smiles, affectionate words, and selfless giving without always calculating returns. Many times, it is not grand gestures, but the gentle acts of tenderness that strengthen the roots of love. Yet love alone is not enough if communication falters, because the silent killer of most relationships is miscommunication. Countless arguments do not arise from big problems, but from the feeling of not being heard. And the greatest gift we can offer is listening with presence. When we listen without interruption, when we pause before reacting, when our words carry kindness rather than harshness, harmony naturally flows back into the bond. Still, love and communication cannot thrive unless respect stands alongside them, for love without respect soon loses its fragrance. Respect means valuing the other person's individuality, choices, and dignity. It means not belittling, not mocking, and not treating the other as inferior, but rather honoring them as a partner on the journey of life. Respect turns differences into bridges instead of barriers. And yet in every relationship, mistakes will happen, tempers will flare, and wounds will be given. But forgiveness is the divine key that heals what seems broken beyond repair. Holding on to resentment is like carrying poison in our own heart, while forgiveness frees us, not because the other deserves it, but because we ourselves deserve peace. The sooner we apologize, the sooner we forgive, the less space ego has to destroy what love took years to build. Alongside forgiveness, gratitude plays a magical role. Gratitude turns ordinary relationships into extraordinary ones. For when we focus on what is right instead of what is wrong, when we say thank you sincerely and often, when we appreciate the little things our loved ones do, the bond begins to glow with new life. A relationship rich in gratitude is a relationship that cannot be shaken. But human hearts are meant not just for gratitude, but also for growth. And the most beautiful bonds are those where both souls grow together. When two people share spiritual practices, when families meditate together, when friends encourage one another's dreams, when partners celebrate each other's progress, then the relationship becomes a ground where souls rise hand in hand. Growth creates unbreakable bonds because it means you are not just sharing a life, but also sharing a journey of becoming better, wiser, and more divine. Yet growth and gratitude must be balanced with joy, because life is not only about overcoming problems, but also about creating memories of laughter, warmth, and togetherness. The happiest relationships are not those without struggle, but those filled with moments of simple joy, walking together in silence, laughing over small jokes, dancing in the living room during hard times, creating family rituals like dinners, prayers, or playful evenings. Joy is the glue that holds hearts even in storms. And in the deepest sense, every relationship carries within it the silent presence of God. When we invite the divine into our connections, when we pray together, when we see the divine light within our loved ones, conflicts soften and harmony enters. God becomes the unseen third presence, guiding, blessing, and purifying the bond. Without spiritual depth, relationships often remain shallow, but when infused with divine energy, they become sacred. Still, we must not forget that no relationship outside us can truly be wonderful unless the relationship we have with ourselves is healthy. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot love others deeply if you do not love yourself. Self-love is not selfishness, but an act of nourishment that allows you to bring your best self into relationships. Caring for your body and mind, setting healthy boundaries, honoring your worth, and respecting your own needs all ensure that what you share with others is real, abundant, and joyful. When you combine self-love with love for others, with respect, forgiveness, gratitude, joy, growth, and divine connection, then every relationship in your life transforms into something extraordinary. And so remember, relationships are not about perfection, but about connection. Not about control, but about companionship. Not about winning, but about understanding. Every person in your life is a divine mirror, teaching you lessons of patience, compassion, and unconditional love. It is not the grand acts that make bonds wonderful, but the daily gestures of tenderness, kindness, respect, and faith. When you choose to nurture your relationships like a garden, watering them with love, protecting them with respect, enriching them with gratitude, healing them with forgiveness, and bathing them in God's light, you will watch them bloom into a paradise of peace, happiness, and everlasting joy. And this is the ultimate secret. To make relationships wonderful, you must let love flow like a river, communication shine like sunlight, respect stand like strong roots, forgiveness blossom like flowers, gratitude sparkle like stars, joy sing like birds, divine energy radiate like the sky, and self-love glow like the sun within. When all these unite, your relationships will not just be good, but truly wonderful, lasting, and filled with the eternal fragrance of love.